In the ancient city of Ibadan, nestled among hills that kiss the skies, there lived a princess unlike any other. Her name was Princess Abeni, daughter of King Adegboy, the revered monarch of the Oyo kingdom. Tall, graceful, with skin the color of mahogany kissed by the sun, she was the jewel of the kingdom. Yet, her heart belonged not to courtly dances or royal banquets but to the intricate game of billiards. Abeni was a prodigy, and from a young age, she was drawn to the green felt table. Her father, despite his initial reluctance, allowed her to play, but it was her late mother who had first taught her. The game was their secret, a bond forged in quiet afternoons away from the rigid eyes of the palace. After her mother's passing, the billiard table became Abeni's sanctuary, a place to channel her grief, her love, and her passion. At 28, Abeni was renowned for her skill, feared in every royal tournament, admired for her precision, and respected for her grace. Her hands moved with a finesse that was mesmerizing, each shot calculated with the wisdom of a seasoned warrior. She was unbeatable, a queen in her own right at the table, and this drew many suitors, men who sought to claim her heart by challenging her to the game she loved. But Abeni's heart was untouched, shielded by the memory of her mother's wisdom. Love is a game of its own, my daughter. It requires as much strategy and passion as anything else. Choose your partner wisely. One evening, under the soft glow of lanterns in a royal billiard hall, Abeni met Chijioke. He was a foreigner from the east, a prince from a neighboring Igbo kingdom, tall, dark, and with an intensity in his eyes that unsettled her. Unlike the others, he didn't come to watch her play but to challenge her, a quiet, personal duel. His demeanor was calm, his hands steady, and there was something in his silence that intrigued her. Their first game lasted hours, each shot filled with subtle communication. By the end, Abeni had narrowly won, but Chijioke smiled warmly, extending his hand in a gesture of respect. "I will return for another game, princess," he said, his voice deep and smooth. And he did. Day after day, Chijioke came to the palace, and each evening, they played in quiet competition. What started as rivalry soon turned into a friendship, one filled with laughter, teasing, and an unspoken connection. Their conversations grew deeper, and before long, the palace walls echoed with rumors of their blossoming love. But fate had other plans. Just as Chijioke was preparing to propose to Abeni, a devastating political rift emerged between their kingdoms. An ancient conflict, long buried, resurfaced, threats of war lingered on the horizon. Chijioke was summoned back to his homeland, torn between his duty as a prince and his love for Abeni. "I will return for you," he promised, pressing a kiss to her forehead on the night of his departure. "No matter what, I will find a way." But weeks turned into months, and months into a year. Abeni's heart grew heavy with uncertainty. The games they once played felt hollow without him, her focus wavering as news of battles reached the palace. Then, the unimaginable happened. One fateful evening, as Abeni stood by the billiard table, waiting for Chijioke's return, a messenger arrived from the east. His face was somber, and his words were like knives cutting through the air. "Prince Chijioke has fallen in battle." The words echoed in the chambers, suffocating Abeni's world in a sea of despair. Her knees buckled, and she collapsed beside the billiard table, the one place where she had always found peace. But now, it was nothing more than a reminder of love lost, of dreams shattered. Her fingers traced the edges of the table, tears falling onto the green felt as memories of Chijioke flashed before her eyes, the sound of his laughter, the warmth of his touch, and the unspoken promise of forever. Grief consumed her, and for months, Abeni withdrew from the world. The princess who once ruled the billiard table with grace and poise was now a shadow of herself. The palace mourned with her, but none could pull her from the depths of her sorrow. It was during this time that she made a vow, a promise to herself and to the love she had lost. She would never let their story fade into oblivion. She would rise again, not for herself but for the memory of the man who had captured her heart. Abeni began to train harder than ever before, honing her skills with a new purpose. She entered every tournament, not for glory, but as a tribute to Chijioke, each game played as if he were there beside her. Years passed, and Abeni became a legend, not just in Nigeria but across the lands. People spoke of the princess who played with a fire in her heart, her every shot carrying the weight of love and loss. Her pain, though hidden behind her regal composure, was evident in the way she dominated the table, a queen without a king, a warrior of the heart. And though she never found love again, she lived knowing that somewhere, in the echoes of her victories, Chijioke's spirit smiled upon her. The game of billiards, once a mere passion, became her bridge between worlds, the living and the dead, the past and the present, love and loss. For Abeni, every cue held his memory, every ball rolled with the rhythm of their hearts, and every victory was a whisper to the heavens. We may have lost the game of life, but our love was never a defeat.